Hi, I'm Michelle Welch, registered dietitian of the Lincoln community and a member of the partners of Channel 10 Health. Today I'm going to show you a little bit about ways to increase the variety in your winter and off-season fruit eating. Sometimes we get really tired of having just apples, oranges, and bananas to choose between. And so one thing I find a lot of folks ask me about is, gosh, I'd like to incorporate pineapple, but I don't know how to choose a good one, and I definitely don't know how to cut one. So I kind of steer clear of them at the grocery store. And so the first thing I look for when I look for a pineapple is I look for a really nice top that isn't withered or looking sad on the ends. A lot of times if it's brown or wilting on the ends, that means that pineapple's been in the store for a long time. The other thing I look at is when I pick up a pineapple, I want it to be nice and heavy for its size. Heavy equals juicy. So that's the second piece that I look for. It doesn't have to have any certain specific color to it. And then also, when you look at the bottom of the pineapple, you don't want it to look like it has mold growing up the sides. There'll be a little bit of mold present, but there shouldn't be a whole significant amount of mold or see it crawling up the sides. If you smell your pineapple, and it smells too fragrant, it's kind of on its last leg. And so really if you can choose a pineapple that has just a mild fragrance to it, that has a nice look to it, and especially is heavy for its size with a nice fresh looking top, that's a good pineapple to take home. One of the biggest tricks that I do before I ever pop it on my cutting board, and I did today, is I use a little foam hand soap and I scrub the outside of my pineapple before I ever put it onto my cutting board. By doing that, that gets rid of a lot of bacteria contamination and will help you not to have your pineapple go bad quite as fast. Here comes the fun part. We're going to really take this pineapple apart in a way that's nice and easy. And so first off, I'm going to just twist off the top. You probably didn't know you could even do that, but you just twist off the top. Some people actually plant these to regrow them, but mine goes in the trash today. Then the other thing you want to look at is what you're choosing for a knife. Granted, I have a giant cleaver with me today, but what you are looking for is a knife that's sturdy, big enough to cut through the pineapple, but that doesn't have a lot of flex to it. If your knife has too much flex to it, it's not going to be as easy to handle and you stand more of a chance of cutting yourself. So I take my knife and I just cut off the top and I cut off the bottom. So if you look at the pineapple, okay, on that core, that's the piece we're cutting around. And so we're going to flip our pineapple up. Notice how it sits evenly on my cutting board so it's safer for me to cut. And then I'll just take my knife through that core all the way down. Then you can see where that is in the center of that core. So I'm going to position my knife. I'll show you this close up. I'm going to position my knife so I cut around where that pineapple core is at. So instead of cutting that onto the end of each piece of my pineapple, I'm working around that as I cut. So you can see that was kind of an off-center cut where that core is right there. Because personally, I don't like to have to spend a lot of extra time in the kitchen cutting my pineapple. I can usually cut one in about 5 minutes if I'm cutting this on my own and not talking to somebody. So basically I'll just get that core off. Next thing we'll be doing is cutting the pineapple pieces. So if you look at this piece of pineapple, you can see where those little eyes are in that pineapple. So I'm going to take my knife and I just cut right at the base of that pineapple. And then I get rid of my skin. I'll do that for each of my pieces. But once again, I'm getting as close to those as possible. As you can see on my skin, I'm not losing a lot of extra pineapple that way. I can simply pile them up. And if you have, once again, a nice steady knife, just cut your way right through them. And just cutting them into bite-sized pieces. You can rather use your cutting board or your knife to transfer those into your bowl. So as you can see, I got this entire bowl of pineapple out of just one simple pineapple, and that pineapple cost me about $3. That's a lot of fruit and a lot of meals for your family out of pineapple. If you have a few left over, you can also, during the summer, throw them on the barbecue in a grill basket or with some peppers and onions, and it makes for an amazing summer dish as well. This has been Michelle Welch, registered dietitian for the Lincoln community, Channel 10 Health.